Welcome to the 2018 Spring AS Candidates Forum. What this event's basically going to be about are the people that are running for the next year's AS Board of Directors are going to give their positions and why they should be voted on voted on for the upcoming board. But first, I'd like to introduce the current AS President, Jennifer Chen, who will be giving a short speech of herself. Thank you. Please give a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing? Great. All right. Before I start my speech, I'd just like to welcome all of you. And also, if you know the friend who are not here, try to invite them, text in, or ask them to go on the Coursera Facebook to watch the live stream for the debate. Because debate is really important to get to know what all the candidates stand for, what they want to fight for, and then really make your vote matter on this election. So before that, I just want to share my experience as the past year president. So before, I also ran for the election last year. So I didn't know much about AS until I really stepped into the office to know what is the role is really important in this campus. So do you guys know how many students we have at SMC? Yes, about that 30,000 students. Do you know how much AS budget we have annually for fall and spring semester? $1 million? Actually, is $1.3 million, and including a restrict and non-restrict budget. So we are the community college actually have one of the largest budget we could use in the Associated Student Office. So it's really important that we vote for those 16 directors who are the directors will make a decision on how this money we're going to spend on. So director can come up with a program or any other thing that event they want to support. So it really matters to student. The director, they can make decision to bring out more benefit for our student. So really make your voice be heard and then to let them know what you wanted to see the change in this campus. So I really want to give out just, for all the candidates who are running this election. So I really want to appreciate that you guys step forward and really want to get involved to take this responsibility. This will be a great experience for you to learn and for you to grow. And then, reach out to students, speak to them like any other day that you are doing during the campaign this week. So it's going to be a great experience, and I hope you all will have, all that you want to stand for and fight for it and make that come true for the next term. And then best of luck, everyone.
Thank you to Jennifer Chen. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Edward Lee. I'm the editor-in-chief for the Coursera newspaper, who are the ones who are coordinating and sponsoring this event. So first off, I'd like to explain what the positions are going to happen, how we're going to time it, so everyone has an understanding of how it works. First, we're going to go along the candidates that are running unopposed. So these are going to be the Director of Activities, Community Relations, Director of Student Assistance, Director of Sustainability, Director of Outreach, and Vice President. I'm going to quickly give an explanation of what these positions are before we introduce them. Then we're going to go into positions that have multiple candidates. So these have multiple people running for the position. And finally, we're going to go over the three positions: President, Budget Director, and Student Trustee. So first off, I'd like to introduce the person running for Director of Activities, Suhei Avila.
Hi everyone, my name is Suhei Avila. I'm running for Director of Activities. I'd like to just say a little about myself. I'm a poli-sci major, and this is my second year at SMC. Also, I'd like for you to vote for me not because I'm unopposed, but because you believe in the vision that I strive SMC to be. I want more activities that emphasize what the students want at SMC on the quad. I want more of the students' voices. What do you guys want for activities on the quad? Thank you.
Next, running unopposed is Chi Yuan Sham. He's running for Director of Community Relations. The position serves as a liaison between the AS and the SMC community programs, which includes the Center for Environmental and Urban Studies, Campus Police, Bursar's Office, and many more. Please give a round of applause.
Hello. So first, thank you all for coming today. Each one of your support is very important for all of us. I'm Sam Chin Shum, running for Director of Community Relations. I'm clearly understand that our relations between our partnership organization is very important. And I will not turn a blind eye for our students' suggestions and needs. And so thank you very much for supporting. Thank you.
Next off is going to be the Director of Student Assistance. This position, the person running is Kimberly Hernandez, and this position works in collaboration and is a liaison between the school and any of the assistance programs at the college.
Hello, SMC. My name is Kimberly Hernandez. I'm 20 years old, and I'm running for Director of Student Assistance. As the only candidate running for this position, I will make sure I'll be the bridge to AS to all student assistant programs. However, we know making a way out of no way is impossible with just one person. So I ask one favor to ask from you. I need you to make sure to step forward with me and make SMC exceeding. Because I imagine SMC with better resources for undocumented students. I imagine SMC with accessible passages for students with disabilities. And most importantly, I imagine SMC a fitting place for you. Thank you. Please vote for Step Forward.
Thank you. The next speaker is the sole candidate, Joe Coco, who is running for Director of Sustainability. This position works to reduce the ecological footprint of the AS, which includes or not limited to overseeing and assisting with reducing the use of recyclables and paper.
Hi everyone, my name is Joe Colco. I'm running for the Director of Sustainability. The primary commissioner for the current Director of Sustainability and the ICC delegate for the Plastic-Free SMC Club. What I plan on doing is continuing to promote reusable plastic water bottles on campus, as well as provide more options for student composting in an attempt to improve our zero waste policy here at a progressive campus at Santa Monica. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker will be Carlos Ortega, who is running for Director of Outreach. This position acts as the official AS membership recruiter and actively works to maintain and promote AS benefits. Okay. So moving on, these next positions are now people who, there is one sole candidate who is running for AS Vice President. His name is Hesham Jarmakani, and he is running for AS Vice President.
Well, thank you very much for the warm applause. Hello everyone, my name is Hesham Jarmakani, and I'm running for AS Vice President. Coincidentally, the time that I announced my vice presidency was also the time that Santa Monica College announced that they would want to raise the international tuition fee to $370 per unit. Of course, being friends with many internationalists and growing up with them here in Los Angeles at Santa Monica College, it really resonated with me. And I obviously know of the confinements, I guess you can say, that comes with government positions. However, I can advocate, and I will ensure that all of your voices are heard to the best of my abilities and try my best to ensure that every voice is treated as equal as each and every single one. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Now we will be introducing the positions to have multiple candidates running, starting off with the candidates for student advocacy. This position basically promotes activities from the AS, and the first speaker that we will have is Arthur Sanchez. If Arthur Sanchez is not available, then we'd like to introduce the next person who is running for student advocacy, who is Gospel. Okay. So the next candidate who is running for student advocacy, the third candidate, is Alexa Benavente. You have 90 seconds.
Hey everyone, my name is Alexa Benavente. I'm an environmental studies major. I am running for this position because there's a lack of representation and intersectionality here in the school. We have a very diverse body of students, and there's not enough representation for them. I want to actively organize with students, student leaders, and clubs around the campus to be their voice and give them a platform, to give them the best resources for them to succeed. Thank you. Um, this position represents all of you on local, state, and nationwide, but I believe in community and I believe in organizing, because if you guys want to see a change in the world, you first have to start within your community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are any of the other student advocacy candidates available? Okay, so we're moving on to the next position, which is the Director of Publicity. So the first candidate I'd like to introduce is Kathy Fung.
Hello everyone, my name is Kathy Fung and I'm running under Director of Publicity under my slate Step Forward. So our mission for Step Forward is to increase student engagement, and under my role, I would be promoting different student opportunities and events that are happening on campus, because in order to raise awareness of what is going on campus, can only then students actively engage. So my role is to not only increase that, but I want to promote the social media, because in the digital age, everybody follows it. And in the digital age, everyone follows it. And therefore, if we promote more of that, more students are more connected, better, and having better chances of finding anything that occurs on campus. And so step forward with me and my slate, because not only can you help us change everything, because 16 board directors can't make much of a change without student input. Thank you.
Thank you. And the second candidate who is running for the Director of Publicity is Jeremy Thurman. So it seems like Jeremy isn't available, so we'll be moving on to the ones running for AS Secretary. The AS Secretary prepares and posts the agendas and minutes in cooperation with the AS President, and makes sure that all these AS meetings have agendas. So we have two candidates. I'd first like to introduce Isaac.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Itzhak Magen. If you can't pronounce the first part, just call me Isaac. And I'm currently running for AS Secretary under the slate called Transparency, Interdependence, and Equity. As Secretary, my position includes attending the AS meetings once a week, taking a role of whose attendance, what they vote on, but more importantly, keeping a journal throughout the year of all the information being passed. Unfortunately, many students do not have the opportunity to attend these AS meetings, given that a majority of our student campus are currently filled with working class students. Although a lot of this information is publicly available, it is unfortunately not easily accessible. And if it's not easily accessible, it means that we do not have a transparent student body. My slate and I hope to change that by implementing a message program where once a week after these meetings, most full-time students and working class students receive a brief message summarizing what happened at the meetings, how it's affecting you, why it's affecting you, with a link at the bottom for students who are more interested in what happened that will show them the whole picture. Because at the end of the day, knowledge is what gives us power. And although that knowledge is not easily accessible to you guys right now, my slate and I hope to change that by making that knowledge more accessible to you guys, but also putting that power back into your hands. Thank you for having me today. I must now excuse myself and go speak and inform other students and clubs. Thank you for your time.
So it seems like Arthur Sanchez, who's running for student advocacy, has come to join us. Would you please welcome?
Good morning, everybody. Pardon the lateness. I was running a campaign stop, but I'm very happy to be here right now. I'm actually proud to see, in terms of the student body showing up, and I thank the Corsair for having us. I'm running for Director of Student Advocacy. So that position entails me to represent us as a student body with local legislators. And in regards to that, I'm here to understand the intersection of Title V, Title IX, AR codes, and other bodies of education from California that guarantees our rights as students. This is access. This is retention of rights. Your right to transfer. However, as we've seen from the federal administration, the job of the student advocate is also to protect those who are most vulnerable. And as the advocate, I see those as our undocumented students and our homeless. The student advocate knows that there's a federal injunction, and I believe SMC should demand the student advocate to understand diversity, and not in the media buzzword as a tokenism, but that within each of us, we come from communities, we have professional identities, we all have personal dreams that make us who we are. Out of all the candidates, I'm the most qualified because I'm the only one that has served on a committee. Out of all the candidates, I'm the only one that's shown up for the job. I'm not here to make broad generalizations, and I surely haven't said to the Corsair that I needed to know and needed more time to do my job. Essentially, if you're looking for bold leadership, someone who's transparent, someone who actually understands your rights regarding the AS Constitution, I'm here for you, and I want to be there for you. A vote for anybody else is a vote against the betterment of your own intelligence and your own needs.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time. Vote Arthur M. Sanchez. Thank you for coming, guys.
All right, so that was Arthur, who was running for Director of Student Advocacy. So I'd like to go on to the second person running for the AS Secretary, and that is Gemma Seron.
Good morning, SMC. My name is Hema Saran, and I'm running for your student secretary. I've been involved on a lot of clubs on campus. One of the heartfelt clubs is Adelante Club. I've been a one-year officer there, and I'm currently an ICC primary commissioner. I've learned a lot within these clubs, and I know I have what it takes to be an AS director. If elected to become secretary, my main goal is to be the bridge between the students and the AS directors. I know there has been a lot of controversy with several proposals on campus. Students were unaware of the Gender Equity Center. They didn't know how the money was going to be spent, where it was going to be taking place, which I want to change that. I want students to be more engaged, to be more aware of our AS meetings, what proposals we're going for. Overall, I want you guys to vote for my slate, step forward. It's my pleasure to be your secretary, if elected. Thank you.
The following three positions that we're going to introduce have a speech time of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Three positions that we have: a student trustee, the AS president, and the director of budget management. I'd like to first start with the director of budget management. This position keeps a written account of all finances related to AS and signs all requisitions for expenditures as well as other duties. I'd like to first introduce our first candidate, Maria Damian.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you all for being here, because in the first place, we are all here for you, to represent you. My name is Maria Damian, and I'm running for Director of Budget Management. I'm running with a wonderful slate. The name of my slate is Step Forward, and it's called Step Forward because we want to step forward, listen to you, represent each and every one of you, and provide you the best resources so that you can succeed here at Santa Monica College. I am a business administration major, and I am also the Associated Students representative of the Economics Club. I'm also the commissioner of the current budget manager. As a director of budget management, I will make sure that the money that we equally invest will benefit each and every one of us in the best way possible. I'll make sure that you have the resources to succeed here at Santa Monica College. I'll ensure accountability and transparency, which are two key factors for this position. And in particular, as a director of budget manager, I want to reconstruct the fiscal policy, make it more low-income student-friendly, so that everybody can be engaged on campus no matter their income. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The second candidate who is running for Director of Budget Management is Jason Manigo. Please welcome him. So it seems like Jason's not here, so we'll be moving on to candidates running for AS President. The AS President is responsible for all Board of Director meetings, calling special meetings, and forms ad hoc comments for specific purposes, and is the official spokesperson for the Associated Students. The first person we'd like to invite to come speak is going to be Daniel Cha.
Cool. Feels really good to be up here today. Thank you guys for all supporting and coming out today. It represents all of you guys, showing a sense of how you guys, wow, okay. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for coming out today and supporting the Associated Students elections. And thank you for everyone that's watching out on the live. My name is Daniel Cha, and I'm running for Associated Students President. I'm the primary commissioner of the current president. I am the ICC delegate for Black Collegians, and I am the commissioner for PTK. I know the bureaucracy within the Associated Students, and I will do my very best to have it very transparent through the student government and the students itself. The disconnect with the Associated Students and the students need to be fixed and transparent. The students shouldn't have to work around the school should work around the students. SMC wouldn't be anything without us students. Students need to be informed in what actually goes on around campus. And that's why I'm running for Associated Students President to represent all of you guys to the best of my abilities. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Next running for AS President is Bo Esposo.
Hi, how's everyone doing? My name is Bo Espeso. I am a student veteran here at Santa Monica College, and something we have in common is that we're students. There are a few things I would like to get done here at school, and one of those is to get a college tour going for the students here at Santa Monica College. Back in 2009, we used to have a college tour set up by the Transfer Center, and with the budget cuts happening, that it was sadly taken away. As of right now, the international students themselves, they do a college tour, but they pay $100 out of pocket. Student body currently pulls $2.79 million. I would like to restructure that budget to allocate funds for at least 4 college tours for the school year itself. Number 2, I would like to actually empower the student body. As of right now, 5% is needed to petition a proposal or anything that's happening at AS, and it goes directly to the Judicial Committee or back to AS itself. I would actually like to empower the students to take a vote after the petition is done. So implementing checks and balances and empowering the students to be more active within their community is something I see that needs to be done. On top of that, as president, I'm your poster child of this school. My job would be to literally go to every club meeting, if possible, to see what you guys need and what's happening, to communicate those needs to the members of the associated branch and vice versa. Besides that, there's a lot more things that we got taken care of here, but I appreciate all your help. This is a good experience for everyone to learn from. I hope you guys get active. Thank you.
Thank you. The final candidate running for AS President is Isabel Rodriguez.
Thank you, guys. Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to see so many faces out here today. My name is Isabel Rodriguez, and I'm running to serve as your future Associate Students President. Before I jump into any of the elections matters, I would like to just state quick facts about myself. You've probably noticed my accent already. I am an international student. In fact, I was born and raised in Spain until I moved to LA 2 years ago. My major, my passion is finance, and I'm 19 years old. So, now going back to what we're here for today, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I love Santa Monica College. I feel like it has given me so much. I've met wonderful people here. I've had experiences to improve as a student, as a leader, and most importantly, as a person. And you know what? Last semester, I kept asking myself, what can I do to give back to this community? And Associate Students was the right answer every time. And here I am today. I am running to be your president because I am determined to use my experience as a president ambassador for this school and as a board member for the Alpha Gamma Sigma Honor Society to represent every single one of you guys here today. My main priority, my slate, step forward, main priority is to make sure that your voice is heard. Because let's be honest, guys, we are 30,000 students in this school, and there's only 16 board members in AS. So we need to hear your voices. We need to hear what you need to say to make sure that we know your priorities and we work towards meeting them. Not only that, it is important for you guys to raise your voice, but we need to empower your voices. We need more student involvement on campus, guys. We need to work with the leadership positions that work around AS. We need to promote them. We need more student representation in our DPAC committees, in our academic senate committees. And as you can see, what I'm coming here, what I'm saying is that I want to represent every single one of you guys because SMC is so diverse and we need to celebrate that. We need to take advantage of that. I want to represent our Latino community, our African American community, our LGBT students, our dreamers, every single one of you guys. So, thank you so much for being here today. Please make sure you vote. Vote for Isabel. Vote for Step Forward.
Thank you. Before moving on to student trustee, we'd like to go back to a few candidates. First is going to be the Director of Publicity, Jeremy Thurman.
Hi everyone, my name's Jeremy Thurman. When I first came to SMC, I wasn't sure how I was going to fit in with the student community. I've been out of high school for about 10 years, and it's been hard for me it was hard for a long time for me to be able to get the motivation together to go back to school and get my degree. As soon as I walked through the Welcome Center, I was informed about the STEM program and the Scholars program, and it really helped me and empowered me to connect with the student community here and to also work on what I want to do, which is transfer. So I just wanted to let you guys know, before I get into what I want to do at AS, kind of a little bit about my story. So one of the main things I want to do, if elected as Director of Publicity, is make sure that the students can be involved in whatever the Associated Students does. I don't want students to be frustrated because they aren't aware of any regulation codes or any things in the AS Constitution that is something that they can work towards, but maybe they don't know how to do it. I want to empower students to be able to be involved. Another thing I want to do is change the AS Constitution to reflect transparency. And the way I want to do that is so that major proposals can be put in 1 week, an ICC meeting can be put in between that week, and then the proposal is voted on the next week. I want to do that for transparency so students can be engaged in what AS is doing, so that when proposals do come up, all students are aware and they don't get frustrated. My name's Jeremy Thurman. I'm running for the students, and I'm running for Director of Publicity. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'd like to move on to the Director of Student Advocacy, who is Gospel. Please welcome.
All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me. My name is Gospel, and I'm running for Director of Student Advocacy, and I want to talk to you today about leadership. Leadership isn't preaching to those that are already activated. As a Director of Black Advocacy for Black Legions, I believe that leadership isn't coming to meetings every day and talking to the same people that I see every day. Leadership is activating students that work, students with children, students with disabilities, students who don't have time to come to the meetings 11:15 every Tuesday. Leadership to me is making a student-centered campus, not a campus that works where students have to work around the faculty, a campus where the faculty works around the students. And my slate, TIE, transparency, interdependence, and equity, believes we can form that campus and that style on this campus. We'll start with, we'll start with transparency. Just because information is publicly available on this campus, if it's not easily accessible to the students, if it doesn't find the students, then that's not being transparent. For example, AB 705, which is the changes to our math and English requirements for next year, effective January 1st, 2018, was passed in October 2017. It changes English and math requirements, and sometimes it gets rid of some remedial classes, and it's pushing everybody to graduate within 1 year with the required math and English requirements they need. I believe that this information should have been in every student's hands on October 2017. It's not something they should be figuring out right now. And with our slate, we'll send you a text message update of every AS meeting, every trustee meeting, every board meeting. Anything that changes your life at this campus, you should know about. And with my slate, we will put that power back in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we'd like to mention another candidate for the Director of Budget Management, Jason Monigo.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you kind folks for coming out to support the AS elections. Also, I'd like to give thanks to the individuals following the live stream. That said, my name is Jason Manigo, and I'm running for Director of Budget Management. I represent 1/5 of the Transparency, Interdependence, and Equity slate, TIE for short. As Director of Budget Management, that is exactly what I intend to do. Be transparent, embrace interdependence, and constantly push for equity. I plan to stay authentic, be honest, be open, and always impeccable to my word. The decisions that I'll have to make as the budget manager, I know will be tough ones to make. Those decisions will either be in the best interest of the students and SMC as a whole, or a complete deterrence towards SMC's progress. No worries, in regards to the budget, I will always make those tough decisions that are in the best interest of the students and all of SMC. Once in office, I will refuse to let my ego get inflated and believe that I'm one of the upper echelon of students at SMC. No, I will still be a man of the people and push for ideas that will assist the average SMC student. Some say that my slate is arrogant and confident. Indeed, we are, but for the right cause. With great power comes great responsibility, and it will be irresponsible for us to not empower the powerless. Now, I must admit, I have no experience in this realm, but I'm going to use my inexperience to my advantage. It shows that I have ambition, courage, and no ulterior motives. Moreover, I will constantly learn the position. I will not pretend to have all the answers because ultimately none of us do. I will ask for help, and sooner rather than later. Lastly, if I'm fortunate enough to get elected, I would desire to expand my duties past being a budget manager, meaning that I will work with my elected peers for the betterment of the school in whichever capacity that I'm needed. Once again, my name is Jason Manigo, and I'm running for Director of Budget Management. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, Jason. We'd like to move on to the final position, which is the position of student trustee. The student trustee acts as the liaison between the Board of Trustees and the AS Board and attends the AS Board meetings as a non-voting member. The first person who is up for this position is Ben Kolodny.
Pardon me. Good afternoon, and thank you all so very much for being here to listen to me speak. My name is Ben Kolodny, and I'm running for student trustee. I owe SMC a massive debt. When I was 19 years old, I was homeless. I suffered from severe mental illness. I had huge issues. And when you get through the other side of something like that, you learn something about gratitude. And I've learned a lot about gratitude here. When someone takes you in, when they open their arms to you and they help you, they care for you, they're there for you, there is nothing you wouldn't do to help them, to work for them, to make them better off. As captain of the SMC speech and debate team, I've spent 400 hours working for SMC's betterment. I have done it selfishly and with no goal of self-betterment in mind. And I want to bring that same attitude to SMC's entire student government. I want to make SMC a better place, and I want to do it through two separate policy prescriptions I'm going to talk to you about today. First and foremost, I'd like to partner with the Metro. I did some calculations, and the average student could save $500 if they're a Metro riding student if we partnered with the Metro Rail, if we partnered with LA County's massive public transportation system. And the fact that we are not doing that right now is taking money out of the pockets of every SMC student. The second thing I want to do is set up a series of endowments. If any of you are international students, you will know that your tuition has been raised about 20%. That is unacceptable. What's happening is SMC is running out of money. They do not have the resources they need to take care of us and our needs. And so as student trustee, I will work for the creation of a series of endowments that will make sure we do not see increased tuition hikes. We do not see increased student fees. We do not see decreased services, and in the process make sure SMC has the resources it needs to continue funding the quality education that it is providing for you and it is providing for me. I'm already working on that though. I'm already doing it. If you Google the term highly involved student, at any point after 2017's Thanksgiving, you would see an article about me standing up for what I believed in. If you looked on national television, you would see me arguing for what I believed in. You might disagree with me, but that's fine. You cannot say I'm uninvolved. You cannot say that I do not care about the school, because I do. And I have proven it with my hours of advocacy and my work for the students. Thank you so very much, Ben Kolodny for Student Trustee.
Thank you. So we have specific questions. If anyone from the crowd has any questions, please raise your hand. We will have someone who writes down your question. Please make your questions directed towards specific positions and not towards candidates. Thank you. Okay, so first we have a few questions from the current Associated Students Board. So all the ones who are running for so all the ones who are running for the student trustee, could you please come forward? So a few of the questions that the current Sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry. So there is one more candidate, and two more candidates who actually also have running for student trustee, excuse me. So the next person I'd like to introduce is Charlene Alex Boyd, who is running for student trustee.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming. I want to tell you about myself. So often, when I first started here, I was extremely shy. And originally from Brooklyn, New York, SMC has saved me. And with that, I say, excuse me, I run right now currently as Director of Budget Management, and I love my job. Every time y'all come to my meeting and y'all are so full of hope and y'all so excited to get funding to have a pizza party or and by that add, I apologize for missing those pizza parties. But I just want y'all to know I'm ecstatic for all these amazing proposals that y'all put together. And it's so great how y'all collaborate together, and it just makes my heart smile. With that being said, I have been a part of Black Collegians, also a member of PTK. And these clubs have shaped me into the person that you see today, that has courage to have cameras in front of her and speak, because before that was never my case. So I say that to say, why do I want to be student trustee? I always, even when I'm going through my own issues and problems, I'm always listening to others. And the international students, I feel that there's a need. Not to say that they're not at the best school, because SMC, I'm proud to be SMC, but there's also needs that need to be met with international students. And even though as tuition may raise and increase, and I want to be that person that has that conversation. And you probably ask me, why do you care? I tell you why. I'm Jamaican American, my parents are immigrants, and not only that, I'm an out-of-state student, so we both pay the same, and I struggled. Oh my gosh, how I struggled when I first came here. And I know some of the students, you think when they're international, you think that all of them are privileged. Some of them are not. And I listen to those stories, and it affects me. So with that being said, let me be your voice. Let me be your voice for the voiceless. Let me create opportunities for international students, and I want to also create more leadership opportunities because it's so limited. I feel unfortunate that it's just only 16 opportunities. I really care about each and every candidate that's here today because they are amazing. They work hard to stand up here, but there's not enough. I would like to turn the committees that we have, because they say there's not enough student engagement, but what if we turn those committees into Senate where they can actually be able to have civic engagement and we can follow through with everything and there will be transparency. So a vote for me will assure that. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Again, that was Charlene Alex Boyd. Next, we'd like to introduce the final candidate for student trustee, who is Angel Redding.
Hi guys, good afternoon. Sunny day in LA as always. My name's Angel Radding. I'm running for student trustee. And I want you guys to know you guys have a voice here. You guys have power. Last year they told us to move forward. Now they're telling us to step forward. They're telling us they're for the students. They're telling us they're with the students. But we need a government that's by the students. We need something that we can create within. I'm part of PTK, and through that student advocacy, I've seen how you guys can use your voice. We want and TIE to bring a voice to the voiceless, as Alex wonderfully said and elaborated. Now, to do so, we want to implement town halls. These town halls, you can voice your opinion. We'll reach out to you. We'll listen to every single person, no matter how long it takes. Now, with the student trustee position, a lot of people think that people can't speak. You don't have a voice, but I want you to know, through me, you will have a voice. Every single second, every blood, tear, sweat, I will be there for you. I've been here from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., campaigning to people, classrooms, shaking hundreds of hands. I hear what you guys have been saying. I've been reaching out to every single person I possibly can. And through this late tie, I feel like we can really enact change. Interdependency, equity, things that Santa Monica should strive for. Now, interdependency, we need to create clubs on campus that are aware with the students and reaching out to the students with the best of their abilities by the assistance of AS. This hasn't been done in the past to the fullest extent, and we can expand on this to create a campus where we can all work together. SMC is a very metropolitan school in a very metropolitan area, and it's something we need to expand on. Diversity, the beautification of this campus. As your student trustee, I will be speaking out for every single last one of you. And if any of you guys see me on campus, I hope you know that I'm genuine. I hope to speak to every single last one of you. Say hi, smile, shake my hand, wave at me, bother me. Please, I want your voice to be heard. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So now we'd like to introduce any questions that the crowd has. Please raise your hand and we will find someone to get your questions addressed. But first, meanwhile, we'd like to have some questions from the current AS board. I'd like to first start with the candidates running for student trustee. Can all of you come forward, please? For the sake of timeliness, please try to keep this within 45 seconds. So one question that the AS board has is, can you expound upon what exactly your campaign slogan means and how this will translate into your position?
You two can. Do I use this? Yeah? Oh, okay. For the students is about being quite literally for the students. Our campaign slogan is what we mean to do. We feel that a lot of our advocacy from our former AS boards, other people on campus hasn't been honest. It hasn't been what the students have wanted. And that's unacceptable, which is why For the Students is going to work quite literally for the students. We want to hear your voices. We want to hear your criticisms. We want to hear the problems you have with the jobs we're doing so that we can do a better job. Without that, well, then there's not a representative system here. There's just an oligarchy. Oh, yeah. I guess that's about my time, so thank you so much.
So the slate I'm running in called TIE, Transparency, Interdependence, and Equity. Transparency. We hope to have a government that's transparent with you through every meeting, every sentence, through every moment. Now, this means by implementing Facebook Lives, videos, and other outlets that we can possibly research and find from you guys. Any suggestions are willing. Oh, this is off? Okay. Interdependence. So earlier mentioned, I said creating an interdependent club campus. So we believe that growth happens right outside your comfort zone. Now, with our slate, we also believe that we should meet with the clubs in the beginning of the year and in the middle of the year and have funding available to them to create maybe intercultural exchanges to learn about different cultures. Now, I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to end there.
So the name of my slate is Step Forward, and the quote is making a way out of no way. So Step Forward is together we're going to step forward and be that active leader that you so asking for. But we can't do it by ourselves, and I did mention in my speech about civic engagement. So what I need from the students of SMC is to help us, help you, help me to become the best leader possible with civic engagement. Thank you.
So there's one more question from the AS board. Hello. So the AS board is asking each of the student trustees to name one major project that the district is currently leading right now and how you would incorporate the student perspective into it.
Could you repeat the question?
So the AS board asked each of the candidates running for student trustee, name one major project that the district is leading right now and how you would incorporate the student perspective into it.
Well, how I really became involved in student life was by the Gen C decision. There was a big crisis in which the Gender and Equity Center, thank you, Edgar, it wasn't being done representatively. I want to bring the student voices, both dissenting and affirmative, to this conversation, and I want to do that by having a conversation with the students first, and then bringing my findings, what y'all tell me you want to hear from it, what y'all want to see in this Gender Equity Center, to the board, and speak with them directly as your representative.
So recently, the Board of Trustees just passed crisis prevention. We want to expand on this. Security is a big issue in America currently, and we want the students to be safe. Now, there's about 30 faculty members from across the school that meet every month bi-weekly, and they discuss about crises, and there's almost 300 cases presented to them. Now, if we can expand upon it and create a filter system that could better aid the students in a faster way, we could stop this and we can avoid any security issues that we might have here on campus.
Okay, so one new thing that the district is doing, I sit on the DPAC committee, and DPAC budget that is, and the district is trying to give a new formula that we're gonna be under the way we get funded by the chancellor. And with this new formula, it brings exciting news. A non-traditional student that doesn't have exact time with, working 2 jobs and trying to go to school, they'll have possibly with the talks that they have opportunity to have weekend classes, and that will help us out tremendously. And also opening vocational classes and having more certificates, because not everybody wants to do traditional school. Some other want to be skill-based. So I think this is an amazing thing that's going to be happening for SMC, and I'm so glad to be even a part of it just right now on the committee.
Thank you, student trustees. We'd now like to invite the candidates running for the Director of Budget Management to please come forward. Okay, so a question from the audience for the Director of Budget Management is, how do you plan to properly use and maintain the large budget entrusted to you? How will you prioritize one thing over another? Okay, let me repeat that, excuse me. So a question from the audience was, how do you plan to properly use and maintain the large budget entrusted to you? How will you prioritize one thing over another?
So, I want to open a committee
to reconstruct the fiscal policy, a committee with the board members of the different clubs. And I want to listen from them. I want the feedback. I want to listen from you, the students, what your needs are. And I'm going to prioritize them and put them first before anything else. I don't know if I answered.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you.
That's it?
Yeah. Next, we'd like to invite the candidates running for AS President to please step forward. So one question that came from the current AS board to all the presidential candidates are, what's your vision, mission, and goal as a leading president that you would like to bring to associated students that would make a position change in the student body?
My mission, the Step Forward mission, the meaning behind Step Forward is that we want more and more students to be working, to be involved on campus. That is what I want to do. Because basically, I mean, if you think about it, we need more and more voices to make a change. I know this is something that the vice president, that's like their main mission, but I really want to support that. Because the more students that we have, the more students that know what's going on with AS, the more students that they're involved in leadership position around us, the more, representation that we have in our committees, then that's how we're going to make the changes that we want in school. And that's the Step Forward's mission.
All right, so hello everyone. So one of my big goals and missions before I answer the question, I went through so many classrooms today, or last week, and I spoke with many students, and I asked them, out of 22 to 35 students in each classroom, I asked, who knows about associated students? And only about an average of 5 raised their hands. And that's one of the big problems I want to fix on campus, for everybody to be engaged and informed in what goes on campus. Like my opponent said, we want all of our SMC students to be engaged and to interact with each other, and that's one of the biggest things that we should do as the SMC community, since it's very diverse and metropolitan. I want to do town halls, face-to-face interactions, so everybody knows, SMC students know who their student board of directors are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you please restate the question?
So the question came from the AS on, what's your vision, mission, and goal as the leading president that you would like to bring to the associated students that will make a position change in the student body?
One of my missions here at Santa Monica College, we're known to be the #1 transfer school for UC and Cal State combined. But I would like that to be #1 for Cal State and UC, not combined. So the best way to do that is to build a college resume of our students, some more volunteer activities happening, so on and so forth. Instead of having the election committee be a bunch of ICC delegates itself, but to actually give that position to the students itself, to have more elections run. So you actually have more student involvement. That's one of my goals, is to build a college resume for these students so you guys can transfer and we can be #1 for UC and Cal State.
Thank you. There's a second question for the AS presidents. This is from the audience. For the AS presidents, do you have previous experience in leadership that you can apply to your position? Are there any examples you can provide?
All right. So in terms of leadership experience, and this is something I want to bring up, and this is wonderful about the US. When I came here, I found out about all these positions that you could take on, all these leadership positions that in Spain, it's just not a thing. Student government is not a thing. And I found myself enjoying it like very, very much. First thing I did when I came here is I became a commissioner for the publicity department as associate students. And then I decided to join Alpha Gamma Sigma Honor Society. There you go AGS. And I was engaged with the community. I was volunteering for 30 hours a semester, and it didn't seem much. So I decided to get even more involved. I ran for a position on the board, and then now even that I'm trustee in California and I am a president ambassador for the school too. So that's what I can bring.
May you please repeat the question one more
Yeah,
time?
of course. So this is a question for all AS presidents. Do you have previous experience in leadership that you can apply to your position you're running for? And any examples you can provide?
Will do. All right, so first and foremost, this is my first year at SMC. In high school, my senior year, I was stage manager and I was true president. So that's besides the point. But coming here in the summertime, I went to the Associated Students Retreat before school even started, and I instantly became the current president's commissioner. And I'm fortunate enough to become the primary commissioner now. I get to work beneath her and experience what she does firsthand. She's been very great at teaching me and what she does. I'm a commissioner for PTK, and I'm the ICC delegate for Black Allegiance, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to become the commissioner for PTK and ICC delegate. So that's what I do. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally,
The experience I have for leadership roles itself, I'm actually currently the finance officer for the American Legion of the Santa Monica Post, along with the judge advocate. So when we are going through the Brown Act rules and Roberts rules itself, but one thing is I like to lead by example. So everyone heard about the natural disaster in Houston and the whole flooding itself. So a few vets and I actually got together and gathered supplies for about 2 weeks with the local community. And then I drove down there to Texas in a 26-foot Penske truck to actually give those donations to the people. So that's my experience. It's just leading by example itself. I wouldn't ask anyone else to do something I haven't done.
thank you. Again, please give another round of applause for the AS presidential candidates. It's Isabel Rodriguez, Daniel Cha, and Bo Esposa. Next, we'd like to invite all of the candidates running for student advocacy to please come up. Please note that we are actually not going to bring questions that are addressed to specific candidates, just to make sure everyone has an equal amount of speaking time. So first off, this is a question from the current AS board. Based in fall 2016 SMC student demographic record, 39.9% of SMC student population are Hispanic. What steps would you take to advocate for DACA Dreamer students? Be specific about your plan that correlated with current college district planning and U.S. governance issues.
So for the 40% of Latinos here in the college, there's a big percentage that are dreamers. Unfortunately, DACA is dead, and I have been working with IDEAS, which is the club for undocumented students here in school. We want to provide a resource center for them. There is talks about social justice and gender equity center, but we want a resource center for them too. Undocumented students not only mean Latinos, but it also means Africans, Asians, Armenians. So we want to represent all the demographics that we can, including Latinos, in this resource center.
Thank you.
Can you please repeat the question?
Yes, of course. So this is a question from the current AS board. Based from the fall 2016 SMC student demographic record, 39.9% of SMC student population are Hispanic. What steps would you take to advocate for DACA Dreamer students? Be specific about your plan that correlated with current college district planning and U.S. governance issues.
Okay, so I'll start with current college district planning. If you look at the 2017 and 2018 equity evaluation plan, the equity budget, the adopted budget, so there's two. There's the adopted budget, which is what the trustee board adopts. And then there's the actual budget, which is what the actual money is. So in regards to equity, the way it defines it is African American, of the diaspora, Latinx, and low income. So the adopted equity budget is $1,560,000, while the actual budget the actual budget for 2017-2018 is a little less than 800K. That's a large disparity. So as your director of student advocacy, I would advocate for a larger actualized budget. And instead of going from 1.5 million to 800K, to have a larger amount of money so we can put it back in helping DACA students with food, housing, with anything they might need, just helping them with anything they might need. Advocating for them in housing with legal representation, because in our current immigration legal system, they actually aren't afforded an attorney. So I think SMC could help them with legal representation first and foremost. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, of course. So the current AS board has a question saying, based in fall 2016 SMC student demographic record, 39.9% of SMC student population are Hispanic.
Yes.
What steps would you take to advocate for DACA/Dreamer students?
Yeah.
Please be specific about your plan that correlated with current college district planning and U.S. governance issues.
Okay, so there's an important delineation with that question because 30% are Latin, so that means
39%.
39%. So we need to advocate within the Latin community for those who are undocumented. Currently, according to the Public Policy Institute of California, the demographic that does not vote are young Latin men and women, primarily because of time and also mistrust. I would like to push something called Resist Bot. We live in the 2018, so we all have mostly phones. I would urge the Latin community, along with DACA, along with ideas, to outreach to our local legislators. We need to make sure that people like Richard Bloom, Ben Allen, Julia Brownlee are understanding that there are DACA students. 2015, there were 1,700 people that qualified for AB 540, allowing for less high tuition. However, only 70 students were there. We need to activate not only the students, but the Latin community to support undocumented students.
Thank you. All right. So moving on, I'd like to again thank you for the 3 candidates that came today. Left to right is Alexa, Benavente, Gospel, Afogbu, and Arthur Sanchez. Please, another round of applause. And also, there's actually another question for the Director of Budget Management, if she is here and available. So this is a second question from the audience. So how will you deal with the decrease in enrollment and its effect on the school's budget? When do you intend to allocate funds to and from? Where do you intend to allocate funds to and from?
So where I intend to allocate funds?
Yeah, basically it's saying how will you deal with the decrease in enrollment and where do you intend to allocate these decreased funds to? How will you make the decision?
So to deal with the decreased enrollment, we must invest more money in the outreach to have more students here at Santa Monica College. Again, as I said, I want to reconstruct and reform our fiscal policy. And in doing it, I want to listen from the students and to see what their needs are and to meet their needs. Those needs.
Thank you.
To answer that question, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for that. What I want to do is, once I get elected into office, we will handle that problem accordingly. But one thing we want to do is pretty much expose the fact that enrollment is decreasing. It's a problem. It's a problem.
Thank you. So it seems like we got another question from the audience for the for the student trustees. So if they can again come up, that'd be appreciated. So again, this is a question from the audience asking, will there be any negotiations with LA Metro to subsidize or give free passes for SMC students that commute transfer using Santa Monica Big Blue Bus and LA Metro?
So Santa Monica has allocated funds for the students. They have almost a $2 million budget and the AS board yearly. Now, if we can allocate funds for Metro passes for students, for low income and students that actually need it, that's something that this board, hopefully as we're elected, will implement to the furthest extent and reaching out to each one of these students that need it to the best of our abilities.
Well, that's actually one of the things I was talking about in my campaign speech. Absolutely, yes. One of the first things I'm going to do is sit down with the board of Metro of the greater LA area and speak to them and see what would be necessary for the creation of a bus pass or a similar to the Blue Bus transit privileges that we as SMC students get. That's a vital thing for faraway students. It's a vital thing for increasing our enrollment, and it's a vital thing for saving students $500 a year on average.
Thank you. Sorry, there's actually one more candidate who wants to speak on behalf of the third student trustee.
Can you repeat the question, please?
So let me, excuse me. So on behalf of the third candidate, who is Charlene Alex Boyd, will there be any negotiations with LA Metro to subsidize or give free passes for SMC students that commute transfer using the Santa Monica Big Blue Bus and Metro and MTA?
Unfortunately, we have talked to Metro sustainability here in school, and if we were to partner with Metro, it would be more than $1 million. So we cannot afford that as a school, but there is a transfer from the Big Blue Bus to the Metros for 50 cents. That's what Santa Monica has been doing. We also have bike share, we have Zipcar, we have Lyft and Uber drop-offs, and we're partnering with Waze as well. So there is a great involvement when it comes to transportation for students. We just have to continue working on it, but unfortunately, we cannot partner with Metro as of yet because it's too expensive.
Thank you. So it looks like we have time for just one more round of questions. So we'd like to invite the Director of Publicity to please step, the candidates running for Director of Publicity. Okay. You know what, I think we'll just move on to a different candidate question. Actually, sorry. Yeah, no, sorry, there is, sorry, excuse me, yeah, no, please, I thought there were no candidates, so. Yeah, so yeah, feel free to sub in for someone else. So this is the Director of Publicity, who is Kathy Fung, and Jeremy Thurman, who Ben Kalani from For the Students will substitute for. This is a question for the Director of Publicity. That's so a question from the audience said, everyone has talked about getting students involved. How specifically can we do that?
Okay, this is a great question because if I'm elected, I'm trying to open a committee that will actively allow students to participate. We have TVs on campus.
I'm sorry, could you put the mic closer?
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I plan to open a committee that allows for students actually who want to get involved with helping promote SMC. So we have a campus for CMD, and many students are so talented. I've met many of them who are majoring in film, who are interested in art, who are interested in publicity, and I feel that their talent can be used because they can not only build a portfolio, but also help lead the advertisement of SMC. And therefore, by increasing that committee, opening those positions up to students who want to do something like this, increases student involvement. Thank you.
So one of the, in my opinion, worst things that's kind of happened in the last few months is the fact that most students don't actually know that the election's going on right now, and many students didn't receive the email for the possibility of becoming a candidate. Without those two basic things, no one can be involved. Jeremy Thurman and I have talked about this at great length, and what he wants to do is email students directly when there is a serious development facing our school. He wants to live stream our AS meetings, and he wants to make sure all student comments are read if people can't get there. If you have a comment, if you have something to say, but you can't show up because the meetings are interfering with work, that shouldn't mess with your ability to talk and speak and be involved. And so we're going to take Facebook comments, we're going to take emails, and we're going to take any possible text messages to make sure that people have their voices heard at SMC.
Hello? Okay. So I'm sorry, but it seems like a lot of the audience members have questions, after the fact. So could we please again have the student trustees come forward for one more question? Okay. Seems like it's a developing, developing questions as time goes on. So is there anyone who wants to represent the third candidate? Okay. So this is a question for student trustees. Excuse us, it seems like the questions come on the spot, but given SMC's racial, economic, and documented demographics, without organizing identities, how does your personal political ideology prioritize SMC's most vulnerable students?
Well, that's a very good question. For me, it comes in the form of advocating for everyone, for working for everyone. I'm not the student trustee, if I get elected, of one specific group. I am the student trustee of SMC. I'm going to take all questions, all comments, and all concerns about any level of issue going on at SMC, and I'm going to do it regardless of my personal opinion on an issue. My personal ideology is generally libertarian. I want people to be able to save more of their money so they can go home and do whatever they want with it. I don't care. It's not my business. And that's the general attitude I'll bring towards government. Unless it's hurting you, it's not my business. I'll leave you alone.
Thank you.
Will you repeat the question again?
Yes, of course. So given SMC's racial, economic, and documented demographics, and without resorting to identities, how does your personal political ideology prioritize SMC's most vulnerable students?
I have never personally identified to a particular political group because I try to keep myself free thinking and open-minded. So I would like to incorporate that as sitting as student trustee. So it will assure that I will meet the needs of everyone to my best ability. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. So given SMC's racial, economic, and documented demographics, and without tokenizing identities, how does your personal political ideology prioritize SMC's most vulnerable students?
So I identify as an optimist. I don't identify with any particular political party because I believe that my values are different and valuable to myself. I tend to be optimistic of everybody's. Tend to be optimistic to everyone's values and try to hear what everyone has to say and then hear from what other people have to say and converse about these things and make my own decision. And with other people and conversing and finding out who I truly am, and through that, finding my political ideologies. Yeah.
Thank you. So that'll be all the time we have for questions for candidates. We'd like to again let you know that we have this we have live streamed this on our Corsair Facebook page, as well as we will upload a video of this activity the following morning at our website, thecorsaironline.com. Thank you everyone for coming.
Can I just briefly just to tell you guys how to vote, where to vote? So you can see all the booths around campus. There's 3 locations. One is at Library Walkway, one's in cafeteria. The other one voting booth location is in between the Theater Art Building and Dresser Hall. If you vote there, you get 1 cookie, and then it open, I believe, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. from Monday to Thursday this week. And then the voting, you can also vote online. Just log into your Corsair Connect, put in your information, and then the voting button will be right above your class's schedule. And then the voting process will be ended Thursday, April 5th at 11:59 p.m. So remember to vote. Tell your friends to vote as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jennifer.